Hello, I'm Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to a special housing report brought to you in association with the BNZ. Today we're going to have a look at house prices in Auckland, and in particular land prices in Auckland and what they've done over the last decade or so. And when you dig through the figures, it's shocking, frankly. Between 2001 and 2007, land prices, and particularly section prices, the median section price, tripled from $100,000 per section to $300,000 per section. Now this was much faster than land prices in the rest of the country on the whole, and also was much faster than the overall price of land and houses. So the real issue with house prices nationally was driven in part by this explosion in land prices in Auckland. Now, what was going on here? Now obviously there was quite a bit of migration between September 2001 and about 2005, 2006. Some New Zealanders coming home, but also a lot of migration from Asia. And much of that migration was back to Auckland, or to Auckland first. So there was plenty of demand. But something else was happening here too. Supply of land in Auckland was artificially restricted with the moles, the urban limits. Now this stops development outside these urban limits. And it meant that in some cases, land on one side of the border was 10 times more than the land right on the other side of the border, literally on the other side of the fence. And that's because the City Council and the Regional Council stopped development outside those urban limits. There was a real drive to reduce what they call urban sprawl. Now this seemed like a good idea at the time, and many people on both the left and the right thought it was a good idea. But that explosion in land prices changed behaviour and created, frankly, a new class of very rich people in Auckland. Those people who owned land, either because they were living on the land in their own home or because they owned undeveloped land. Now these are developers with land banks. And what this meant was that those people who owned land and made huge tax-free capital gains wanted to keep those land values high. And that changed their behaviour. They became very conservative in terms of lobbying councils, both from the left and the right, and it meant that land prices stayed much higher than they otherwise would have. And that increased the price of land and buildings beyond the ability of many New Zealanders in Auckland to buy their own homes and to have that Kiwi dream, I suppose, of a house in the suburbs with a bit of a backyard. So we have a combination of conservatism on the left and the right in Auckland local body politics, which has locked a whole generation of young and poor Aucklanders out of their dream of owning a home. And nothing appears to be changing to make that different. Unless, of course, we look at what central government is doing with the move towards a super city. We haven't heard much yet from the central government that's going to change that. But we'll see. And frankly, to be able to change this problem of a whole generation being locked out of land ownership in New Zealand, a push needs to come from central government to focus on affordable land and affordable housing. I'm Hickey. That was a special housing report brought to you in association with the BNZ.